We got more news on history's worst Jew, Jeffrey Epstein. All right, so lock in. This is going to be one of the wildest rides of the entire saga. Not only is there allegedly a weird letter being sent from Trump to the worst Jew of all time, but also, not gonna lie, we have evidence from the Department of Justice, from the Supreme Court, from all these pieces of crap hellholes that are probably protecting pedophiles. All these absolute degenerate schmorglets have revealed that Obama was actually the person that was behind the Russia hoaxes and all the other hoaxes in 2016. We are having a massive gaping hole on the inside of the actual deep state people that have been running the show behind the scenes, and people are going to jail. It's happening. I don't know who, but it has to freaking happen. It's absolutely diabolical. You're not ready. Everyone's kind of pulling out secret information to kind of come after each other. But realistically, we are reaching the end of this saga. They are releasing the info. This is actually going to court. We should hopefully be getting all the information. But that might be coping. All right, so the Wall Street Journal published an article that sent the world into a tizzy. Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him bawdy letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. The leather-bound book was by Ghislaine Maxwell. The president said the letter's a fake thing, sure. Anyway, this is the letter, and it's a really weird letter. All right, now take it from me. They did not produce a picture of the letter. They did not reveal handwriting of this letter. They are only showing the text that was in the letter. So you are not ready for the rabbit hole that we are about to go down. It isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared, which they never showed. Inside the outline of the naked woman was the typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. This is immediately unparalleled levels of cringe. All right, listen, man. The red satanic pedophiles and the blue satanic pedophiles are all going to jail. All right, at one point, we will get justice. It's going to happen. I personally don't think Trump is a pedophile. I've mentioned earlier, if he was a pedophile, the Democrats would have released that shit. This is my opinion. However, we got to find out, brother. Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Now, this is dog shit, man. I don't know. My first glance at this, I'm like, yeah, this is fake as fuck. They didn't produce the actual letter. Trump isn't writing these fucking flowery bullshits. All right, what are we doing? That was my first thought. However, certain things started creeping in that made me start wondering and questioning specific things. Would the Wall Street Journal really release a letter claiming that it was from Donald Trump? With zero evidence? Like, this is actual retard shit, especially because Trump was not so happy about this. Trump then immediately tweets, breaking news, we have filed a powerhouse lawsuit against anyone involved in publishing the false, malicious, defamatory, fake news article in the useless rag that is the Wall Street Journal. Strong start, Mr. President. The historic legal action is being brought against the so-called authors of this defamation, the now fully disgraced Wall Street Journal, as well as its corporate owners and affiliates, with Rupert Murdoch and Robert Thompson, whatever his role is. I love Trump tweets. I'm gonna miss them so much. At the top of the list, we have proudly held to account ABC and George Slapatopoulos, CBS, and 60 Minutes. All right, so for context, George Slapatopoulos, that's not his name. His name is Stephanopoulos. So George Slapatopoulos called Trump a rapist on CBS, and Trump sued the fuck out of him, and he had to pay up $15 million for defamation because Trump is not a rapist. The fake Pulitzer Prizes and many others who deal in and push this in disgusting lies and even fraud to the American people. The lawsuit is filed not only on behalf of your favorite president, me, but also in order to continue standing up for all Americans who will no longer tolerate the abusive wrongdoings of the fake news media. I hope Rupert and his friends are looking forward to many hours of depositions and testimonies that we have to provide in this case. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We will make America great again. This is diabolical. This is like, we're living in a timeline where the president of the United... Is there any timeline where the guy that wrote fucking, Enigmas never age, have you noticed that? As a matter of fact, it's clear to me last time I saw you. Is this written by the same guy? I don't know. All right? I don't know. Now, I will be clear with you guys. I do think Trump's been lying to us about the Epstein shit for the last couple of weeks, and I made that very clear in my previous videos. But I am so excited to see them getting reamed over the coals for this. Honestly, if Trump actually sent the letter, I want to see him disgraced for it. You're talking about your fucking little secrets with the most prolific pedophile of all time. And if Trump never wrote the letter, I want the Wall Street Journal clawing on its way down a dark pit to hell. Because this is crazy levels of defamation. And I absolutely hate the news and the media spinning shit. So anyway, Trump keeps cooking. Based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi, okay, he didn't say that, to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetrated by the Democrats should end right now. All right, so my personal opinion, I don't think this is some sort of weird scam perpetrated by the Democrats or anything necessarily like that. I don't really think that's the case. I don't know. I do think that both sides are definitely guilty on this shit. There are not everyone on both sides, but a bunch of people on both sides, because the Democrats had the ability for the last 4 years to release shit and they didn't release anything, and the Republicans right now have the ability to release shit and they're not releasing anything. My humble opinion is there's some crazy bullshit going on, all right? There's obvious bullshit. Someone's covering for the satanic pedo overlords. I don't know who it is. Congresswoman Luna apparently revealed evidence was destroyed, but still, this is not the point. To say that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked thousands of children to no one is retarded, and I am not going to be that guy that just slurps up the slop just because, the orangest man of all time says it. This is one of those situations where we're going to take this at face value. But anyway, it turns out Attorney General Pam Bondi files motion in New York seeking release of pertinent grand jury transcripts in the Epstein case. This is a big W, all right? Just for the record, this would be fantastic. And I want to make this clear. This is only happening because of the retards like us that are directly demanding it, all right? I want to make this clear. Everyone's saying, you see, everyone's being super transparent. Why would you criticize the president? No, dude, it's because of the criticism of the president that this shit's happening, brother, all right? You think they're deciding to unseal documents? Nah, dude, this is only getting unsealed because of people like me, like Asmongold, like Coffeezilla, like the GOAT Avengers out there that are actually holding people accountable. If it was only random bullshit Democrat people yelling and screaming, Trump would not care. He has no reason to try to appease these people. But because there are people on the right that have been pushing back, we are getting transcripts to the Epstein case, and I really hope that does give some sort of closure. I really, really, absolutely want to fucking see that as soon as possible. Again, I don't know what we're actually going to get, because this seems like it's the worst kept, strongest guarded secret in all of pedo land, but for some reason, I would love to see more about it. Anyway, Trump keeps cooking. If there was a smoking gun at Epstein, why didn't the Dems, who controlled the files for 4 years, and had Garland and Comey in charge, use it? Because they had nothing. Full disclosure, I don't agree with him. I do think that there wasn't a smoking gun specifically targeted at Donald Trump in the Epstein files, or they would have used it. But you are telling me that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked 1,000 people to nobody. So I do think that there is a bit of a leap in logic here. I do believe there is a leap in logic. I do think that there are smoking guns in the Epstein files. I just don't think Trump specifically was named as a pedophile. That's been my opinion all along. It still is. You see, I do agree that the Democrats controlled the files for years, but that doesn't mean there was nothing in it. I just think that means there was likely nothing super fucking damning on Trump specifically as an individual. Now, Pam Bondi decided to tweet this out from President Trump based on the ridiculous amount of publicity by Jeffrey Epstein, as I've read this to you. The scam perpetrated by the Democrats should end right now. And she says, President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow. to unseal the grand jury transcripts. I really want to see it, man. I want to see the transcripts. I want every bit of information to come out. So even if the government is too cucked to actually release this shit, I want someone to be able to put the pieces together. I really do. And I don't want it to be this bullshit with no evidence coming out and be like, yep, it's the Jews. They control the government. I knew it all along. And it's like, come on, brother. Like really, bro? I mean, obviously. But this isn't the proof. Now, anyway, Trump kept going. He dropped another fucking biblical sermon, all right, on the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch personally, were warned directly by President Donald J. Trump. I love that he refers to himself in third person. I know this is random, but his tweets are, like, these tweets are going to end up, like, in a museum. All right, I'm just saying, in a museum, we're going to have these fucking tweets one day. All right. That was supposed to be letter. The supposed letter they printed by President Trump to Epstein was fake, and if they print it, they will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that we would take care of it, but obviously did not have the power to do so. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, retard, by the way, was told directly by Caroline Leavitt and by President Trump that the letter was fake, but Emma Tucker did not want to hear that. Instead, they are going with a false, malicious, and defamatory story anyway. Now, my immediate thoughts are, if they were really warned for a lawsuit, and Trump is known to have sued so many fucking whack jobs in the media, why did they go ahead with it anyway if they had no evidence? That's the crazy part. The crazy part to me is, if it's true, why is Trump suing them? And if it's not true, why would they publish it? And that's why I'm so torn. That's why I feel like there has to be some sort of middle of the road. President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, Mr. Murdoch shortly. The press has to learn to be truthful. Agreed. Fuck them. And not rely on sources that probably don't even exist. President Trump has already beaten George Stephanopoulos, Slappanopoulos as I call him, ABC, 60 Minutes, CBS, and others, and look forward to suing and holding accountable the once great Wall Street Journal. It has turned out to be a disgusting and filthy rag. Why does he put this in quotes? Literally, why would he put disgusting and filthy ragging? It doesn't matter. And writing defamatory lies, that's called libel, not whatever, and like this, shows their desperation to remain relevant. Bro, he's treating the Wall Street Journal like he's a fucking slop tuber. If there are any truth at all on the Epstein hoax, as it pertains to President Trump, this information would be revealed by Comey, Brennan, Crooked Hillary, and other radical left lunatics years ago. That's why, in my opinion, there isn't actually a smoking gun against Trump. I just think that there's a lot of other people implicated. It certainly would not have sat in a file waiting for Trump to have won 3 elections. This is yet another example of fake news. Bro, this is fucking insanity, man. I don't know, bro. All I know is that this is wild. Meanwhile, while all this is going on with the Epstein shit, all right? The Epstein shit, I think, is crazy. Absolutely fucking insane. And I do think that the Trump administration is lying to us, and I would really like the Epstein files to be released. Even though Hasan Piker has been slandering me, saying that I was on Epstein's island, and I'm trying to get the fucking fucking shit sealed, which is bullshit, but then if everyone knows, Hasan Piker lies about me as easily as he breathes. Now, the funniest thing is, while all this is going on and tearing the Trump administration asunder, not really, but sort of, but emphasis on not really, because I want to make this very clear, even though everyone is pushing back on Trump for this, right? And by the way, everyone is pushing back on Trump for this. People on the left, people on the right, everyone is doing it because it's actually not a cult, it turns out. This is the shock of all shocks. I have to show you something insane. Absolute insanity. CNN recently did a poll on what's going on. They did a poll. Do the Republicans hate Trump yet? Are the Republicans turning on Trump? What is going on? Now, I have to show you the results of this poll before we continue, because I think this is one of the most obvious examples of how the internet is not real life I've ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all of these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down with Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% with Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex, or close there too, in terms of his popularity with Republican voters, Epstein files, complaints, or not.
You just proved that not everything online is real.
Yes,
in real life.
Who knew?
Amazing.
Twitter.
Yeah, so this is absolutely insane because everyone on the internet is shredding Trump for this, and in my opinion, rightfully so. His polls went up through the course of this Epstein shit. Now, I think the reason is because as far as actual publicity goes, it makes sense, right? Like, as far as basic publicity shit, this is the thing to do, right? Realistically, the Democrats are way less trustworthy than Trump. People didn't even push back against the Democrats because no one even knew who the fucking president was. So the craziest part is the Trump actually is more popular than ever, even though so many people are voicing their disapproval. Like me, all right? Like me, someone who basically likes all of Trump's policies, but actually hates the way that the Epstein shit's been handled. For some reason, his actual approval rating is going up because realistically, the border's secure. He dealt with Iran swimmingly. We're not fucking in some crazy war. And realistically, shit is going up and it's actually insane to look at. Meanwhile, on the Democrat side, Tulsi Gabbard released this gigantic fucking mega giga thread on proof from the Department of Justice or whatever that Obama was behind all sorts of crazy, unbelievable bullshit regarding the 2016 election. Now, this is the summarized version of it. Don't miss this, the single most important moment of transparency in the U.S. government history. Yeah, because that wasn't the Epstein fucking thing. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, just declassified proof of treason by President Obama. This is insane. I've never in my life seen the intelligence community declassify proof of their own crimes against the American people. The evidence is astonishing. There's evidence that the U.S. intel admitted Russia did not hack the 2016 election, despite the fact that they kept pushing it. Obama pushed the Russia hoax to sabotage Trump. The Steele dossier was fake, but Comey used it anyway. Brennan and Clapper entrenched the hoax deep in the intel community and punished whistleblowers. Corporate media was used to launder fake government propaganda relentlessly, and the Russia probe was an insurrectionist plan to take down Trump. They knew Russia didn't interfere with the election, yet they fabricated the intelligence to justify years-long efforts to overthrow Trump. This was revealed. This is a deliberate campaign of treason aimed at removing a legitimately elected president. The treason's exposed. We have the name. It's time to hold them accountable. My opinion is nothing's going to happen because nothing ever happens. But I want Obama to go to jail. I'm just saying, I really would like the fucking elites to actually taste ass for once in their life. If we expose that Baracus Obama actually committed treason, I want him in jail for it. My incredible hot take is people should be held accountable. Just like I want transparency and accountability on the Trump side regarding the Epstein files, I want accountability and all that shit on the other side too. In my opinion, Obama has spent the last 40 years of his life married to a man in preparation for prison life. I'm just saying, if the dick fits, you must acquit. This is what they said in some famous trials. Fucking cook this man, honestly. Laws are laws, bro. Put all these people away. It's time. Obama was the first gay president, and he might be the first one in prison. What do you take? I know. Thank you. So, again, I don't actually really care about this if no one gets punished, because, again, I knew this was all a hoax all along. I expected it to be pushed by Obama all along. I am not surprised by this, even a little bit, as far as the realism of the situation. I just really fucking want people to go to jail for stuff like this. I hate the idea that we have this elite circle of buttfuckers that just sit there at the very top of society, eating their donuts and schmorgling their blorgles, and suspiciously enough, nothing ever happens. I don't like this at all. I absolutely want justice. That's what I want, and it's fucking insufferable that it's not happening. So, while we are talking about the Epstein thing, let it be known that this was revealed with evidence. With Trump, we have a, I think, very, very good conspiracy that crazy shit was going on Epstein's Island and Trump is covering it up. And it's unacceptable and absolutely unbearable. But if we have evidence that you have people in the Obama administration that directly committed acts of treason, I want them in jail. Literally. Nancy Pelosi called the release of the Epstein files a distraction and said that lawmakers should move on. Now, Nancy Pelosi is the leftist Brother, there's an entire generation of pedophiles out there, goddammit. There really is. There's an entire generation of pedophiles. What are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, I just wanted to show this clip because I wanted to show you that while everyone's out there calling Trump a pedophile, remember that they're defending this schmuck. I am not going to be playing music due to copyright, but let's not forget what this schmuck's been doing for his entire presidency, all right? And this isn't 20 years ago where Trump was some sort of playboy, all right? Because Trump was a bit of a playboy, dog, what's going on here? What's that? What's going on over here, brother? Oh, nah, dude. How old are you? Girl, I'm 12. And then he pets her. I don't know, bro. I'm just saying, like, oh, what are you doing, my guy? So, now, the thing is, this is really creepy, and I'm reminding you, oh my god, literally an entire generation of pedophiles. So Coffeezilla just released a video. It's all coming out because they are apparently releasing the court documents, and they all are apparently releasing a lot more than that in regards to the investigations. And now there's that whole letter, which I think is really fucking fascinating. So I wanted to see Coffeezilla's take on it. You have already heard the gist of mine. I think there's probably some sort of credibility on both sides. On the one hand, the Wall Street Journal would never release something with zero evidence knowing they'd get their pantsuit off. And on the other hand, Trump probably didn't write that letter because it doesn't sound like him at all. It's retarded and it's just a little bit too gay. So lock in, boys and girls. I am ready for this shit to burn down. We'll burn this motherfucker to the ground, baby.
It's all coming out today. The Wall Street Journal not only released an article today, they're getting sued as well for this article about Donald Trump's connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
All right.
It's explosive. It's about a letter Trump sent to Epstein with supposedly a drawing of a naked woman by Trump along with a little...
Wait. Trump supposedly drew the naked woman on the message to Epstein? That's not real, right? There's no fucking way. Wait, Trump allegedly drew a photo of a naked woman? Hold on, I'm looking for something. That's why I'm flabbergasted here. Because there are famous Trump drawings, right? Like, he drew a skyline. But, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if someone with this level of artistic ability drew a naked woman. Okay, this is fucking boxes. All right, listen. I'm not being rude here, brother. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to be honest. I don't think anyone with this level of prowess is gonna go out there and draw naked women. All right, listen. Trump, not the most famous artist I've ever seen.
Poem which talks about a wonderful secret that Jeffrey Epstein and Trump share. We will go through all the evidence because there's a lot to this.
All right.
You are very silly if you jump to conclusions on a story this big with this wide of implications. Let's set the stage because we're going to take our time going through this.
I'm ready.
The president's behavior during the run-up to this Epstein file leak has been absolutely strange.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring.
You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff.
You know,
weird.
These files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama.
Even his supporters.
Look, I'll be real. It's weird as shit, man. He's hiding something. We all agree he's hiding something.
Are like, well, why is he acting this way? It's so weird. All of a sudden it goes from the files exist to they don't exist to they're a hoax actually, and there's a bunch of phony stuff in there. This article, if true, explains a lot of the strange behavior. And we don't know if there's more that's going to come out, if this is all there is. But I'm going to go through the main allegation, and I will call it an allegation because Trump is definitely going to sue over this. He's already said as much.
Apparently, he's suing them for $100 million. That's kind of crazy.
So here's basically the story. Supposedly, Ghislaine Maxwell collected letters from Trump and dozens of Epstein's associates for a 2003 birthday album. It was for his 50th birthday. Pages from the leather-bound album.
$10 billion? He's suing them for $10 billion? All right, based.
Album assembled before Epstein was first arrested are among the documents examined by the Department of Justice officials. So there are birthday letters to Epstein that supposedly have been seen by the DOJ. They have them in their files.
Which they never released, even though they have given us so much transparency about how nothing actually ever happened.
And the one from Trump supposedly has a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. And the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist. The Wall Street Journal.
Mimicking her pubic hair. Wait, he saw. This is crazy. Wait, so he allegedly Allegedly, he had, with a thick marker, he drew an image of a naked woman. Wait, how is that even possible? I'm sorry. How do you draw a naked woman's outline? Isn't that just like the outline of a woman without a skirt? Like, how is he supposed to do this? Right? And then in his fucking, he squiggled a signature as the pubic hair. Bro, come on, dude. Obvious nipple? Bro, what are we talking about, okay? How do you draw nipple tits with a fucking marker and the outline? And remember, this is, allegedly, his signature was the pubic hair, okay? Allegedly. Which means she was facing forward. You would not be seeing any nipple outlines, all right? Listen, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, moving on.
Parker. And the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist. The Wall Street Journal goes on to say it's
a squiggly Donald. Oh my lord.
Not clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein. Voiceover. There's more to life than having everything. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Yes, we do, come to think of it. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. And the final line is, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret.
Yeah, this sounds like levels of bullshit. It really does. It sounds so cringe. Like, it's unbelievable. But again, I don't think the Wall Street Journal would just publish something like this with no evidence. They knew they'd get sued for everything they're worth.
Obviously, that is an insane thing to write.
It's insane for so many layers. Not only does it not sound like Trump and does it sound super lame, but even more than that, and aside from being like unbelievably cringe, this is written, why would he write a fake conversation between them and put them in a silhouette for a birthday card? Like, it just seems like such a weird, it just sounds retarded, okay? It sounds retarded. I've heard furry roleplay Discord messages from pirate software that sounded more coherent.
And may every day be another wonderful secret.
Yeah, why is this like hinting shit? This is a personal letter to his birthday. It just sounds so fucking kooky.
Obviously, that is an insane thing to write to what later would be found out to be
history's biggest pedophile.
One of the world's most prolific pedophiles. But there's also two lines in there which are horrendous. One, enigmas never age. That's just a strange line. It's a very incriminating sounding line. We don't know.
I mean, to be honest, none of this all is strange. Yes, there is. I won't tell you what it is, nor will I, since I know what it is. What the fuck is that supposed to be? What are we talking about? This is retarded, bro.
It means exactly. And then also we see
enigma is my favorite N-word.
Every day be another wonderful secret.
Yeah, so obviously that sounds scary because we know Jeffrey Epstein's big secret is the fact that he sex trafficked 1,000 children to no one. Obviously, and then he didn't kill himself after that.
Of course, this all written inside the outline of a naked woman kind of tells you what secret they may be talking about there. Now we're going to go over Trump's response, and then, of course, all the evidence, all the denials, what you may want to know before making up your mind. Like I said, this is not a story where you're going to want to snap to judgment. Even now,
I agree with him. Every layer that gets peeled back of this Epstein shit makes it so much more diabolical. All I'm saying is, I'm here for the ride. We could either cry about what's going on, that the fact that our society is run by giant, rich, fucking immortal, untouchable, endless amounts of pedophiles, or we could laugh at the shenanigans. It's a hard one, but listen, man.
Now, I think there's still a lot we need to see. But I want to go over Trump's response. He gave an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, and he denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. Quote, "This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story. I never wrote a picture in my life."
Okay, so he drew skylines in like that weird box layers. But this sounds like the fucking Prince Andrew bullshit. You know, he's like, I don't sweat. You know that famous I don't sweat? What is this statement? I never wrote a picture.
Don't draw pictures of women, he said. It's not my language. It's not my words.
All right. We have no evidence, at least that I know of, that he drew pictures of women aside from this. So I assume what he means is he doesn't draw pictures of women. And what the fuck is I never wrote a picture? It's not even a sentence.
He told the Journal he was preparing to file a lawsuit if it published the article. I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else. What do we
based, by the way, hold the fucking media accountable if they're lying.
Make of this? Before we jump into the evidence, before we jump into all the reactions, both public and of the people involved, let's just talk about what this could mean. The denial puts Trump in a very particular position, because if it later comes out and turns out to be true, it's worth saying the Wall Street Journal did not publish a photo of the letter.
I think that's insanely disingenuous. The fact that the Wall Street Journal allegedly has this letter and published this article, but didn't even post it, but didn't even post a picture of the letter is insane. In my opinion, it's absolutely insane that they didn't post the picture of the letter. Unless there is no picture of the letter. And their source is a little bit suspicious himself.
Everyone's been asking for. There are a lot of reasons not to publish it. Maybe your source didn't allow it, but
that's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. Why would your source tell you everything in the letter, but tell you you're not allowed to show a picture of the letter? Insane. My source is I made it the fuck up. Again, I am still torn. I don't know why they would say this at all without evidence. They knew they'd get sued. Trump has sued multiple news stations in the past. There's no way Trump would not sue them for this. So why would they post it? That's why this is so suspicious.
That's a huge part that could come out that changes the whole landscape of this, right?
I feel like there's a layer so much deeper to this that there has to be some sort of truth on both sides here. Like, Rupert Murdoch's not an idiot. The Wall Street Journal knows they're getting sued to oblivion.
If it comes out, it's very devastating because you wouldn't lie about something like this if you thought it was no big deal, right?
True. He's completely right. If this is a real letter that Trump actually wrote and he's now lying about it, it's so bad. You don't even have the deniability of, oh yeah, he was my friend before I realized he was the world's biggest pedophile. Before I realized he was a generational child rapist. You know, like, in my opinion, there's no way. There is no way you have the deniability if it was a real letter and he lied about it.
The denial actually implies a lot of bad things about what the letter could mean. If you weren't worried about a story like this, if you thought the letter was a, nothing.
Yeah, if the letter is true, but it's a nothing burger, all right? If the letter is true, but it's a nothing burger, Trump wouldn't lie about it. Now that Trump denied it, if it is a real letter, it's super suspicious.
You wouldn't deny it. You would just give no comment. You certainly wouldn't give an interview. So now we're going to talk about the reactions of the people involved, because it's worth saying.
Let's go.
Trump is not the only letter mentioned in here. And I think that's really important because in a story like this, you want to look to what could be corroborating evidence. So Alan Dershowitz is cited in the piece having...
Right, so Alan Dershowitz was Epstein's lawyer. Also, I'm pretty sure he was no, he wasn't Diddy's lawyer. He was O.J. Simpson's lawyer.
Written a letter that included a mock-up of a Vanity Unfair magazine with mock headlines of who was Jack the Ripper? Was it Jeffrey Epstein? Alan, a former lawyer for Epstein, does not deny this. He says, it's been a long time, and I don't recall the content of what I may have written. Lex Wexner...
I mean, that is fair. Do you remember every birthday letter you've ever written to anyone? I mean, I hear it.
Also supposedly had a letter in there. He declined to comment. Supposedly his letter was, I wanted to get you what you want, so here it is. After the text was a line drawing of what appeared to be a woman's breast. And
let me get this straight. There's an army of rich fucking pedophiles drawing images of women's breasts and sending them to Epstein? Like, what the fuck is going on in high society? Like, these people are all degenerates. It's unreal. This is insane. Like, what is going on, bro? But the real question is, if you're a pedophile, why would you draw boobs? Fantastic question, chat. You make a very good point.
And then we have a former assistant who was not cited, who sent Jeffrey a letter. Oh, Jeffrey of Jeffrey, everyone loves you. Fun in the sun, fun just for fun.
Okay, that's fucking weird. What is going on in this fucking hellhole society? It's insane. They're trying their best to summon Slanesh. You know what's happening.
Pretty innocuous. And then, of course, we have Donald Trump, who denies, of course, the whole thing.
I never wrote a picture. What does that even mean?
So we have some non-denials, some people who just didn't respond, and then we have Trump. Trump's the only one who's firmly denying this letter so far, with him doubling down on Truth Social, saying, it's not my words, it's not the way I talk, also, I don't draw pictures. I told Rupert Murdoch it was a scam and he shouldn't print this fake story, but he did, and now I'm gonna sue him in his third-rate newspaper.
Damn. I wonder, I'm so curious. I have to know. Do you think we're ever gonna know before we die? Do you think in 60 years, just like they did with the JFK files, they'll be like, all right, here's what actually happened. Yes, you were run by pedophiles. It was cringe. It's how it always was. Like, what is going on?
Now, a couple comments quick on that. One, the Wall Street Journal is not a third-rate newspaper. It's also not a super left-leaning newspaper.
I mean, to be honest, I fucking hate the Wall Street Journal, so I don't actually care. Like, third-rate newspaper is obviously an insult. It's not used for factual descriptiveness.
Not that that should matter in
doesn't matter, but yeah,
journalism, but I know people's media literacy, that stuff kind of does kind of tip off.
I appreciate him giving the actual context, but calling it a third-rate newspaper is just an insult, okay? It's literally an insult. And also, it is a left-wing newspaper from my perspective, right? Is Wall Street Journal left-wing? I mean, even if it claims it's not, it's typically center. All right, I don't know. According to, okay, so you have different people say that it's different ratings. It's relatively center, I guess, even though that doesn't exist.
Off their signals.
From what I remember, it was leftist as fuck, though. So I don't know. Let's ask the AI. All right, let's ask Elon's Gooner AI. All right, listen, I will be real. I opened up Grok, and Grok updated to the new fucking Gooner, the girl, anime girl version, and it immediately said, "Hey, handsome, tell me something," or like something like that in like a Gooner voice. And I will admit, there was a certain someone that was wondering what I was doing on my phone. All right, I'll be real. Anyway, okay, what am I looking at here? Is Wall Street Journal left-leaning? No, it's free. You get that for free. Yeah, the Gooner, I think the super Gooner version is $20 or something. Wall Street Journal is generally considered to be a right-leaning editorial stance, particularly in its opinion pages. All right, that said, perceptions degree. Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty left, medium, like a relatively center, slightly right, if anything, center-right thing.
It's unlikely they're going to publish something they know they're going to get sued for.
That's for me the most damning evidence is that why would they even publish this? Why would they publish something they know they're getting sued for if they had no evidence behind it?
Unless they have something.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So here's where I want to talk about a little bit of the circumstantial stuff. So,
see, if this was like an episode of Suits or some random bullshit lawyer show, I would be like, yeah, they obviously want to get sued so they can have an excuse to do discovery in court or some shit like that. But this isn't Suits. This is real life.
Trump obviously states, I don't draw pictures, but...
All right, see if he shows the fucking skyline pictures of Trump drawing houses.
Turns out, that's kind of not true.
I mean, to be honest, he never said he doesn't draw pictures. He says he doesn't write pictures and he doesn't draw pictures of women. Just to be clear, just for, to be honest.
So in a book called Never Give Up, Trump wrote, each year I donate an autographed doodle to the Doodle for Hunger auction at Tavern on the Green. It's a great event. And sure enough, publicly...
I mean, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he said he doesn't draw women. This is, this is like, I'm not trying. Okay, listen, it's definitely pertinent information. I'm glad that Coffeezilla brought it up. I would not say that this necessarily makes Trump a pedophile or anything.
You can find several doodles that Donald Trump has done. Most of these are of skylines.
Yeah, this is like,
architecture. None of these are of women. Still,
True.
It's strange to say I don't draw pictures when you very...
He never said he doesn't draw pictures. Where is he getting that quote from? He did not say I don't draw pictures. He says I don't write pictures and doesn't draw women. I'm just trying to be accurate here, okay? This is just for accuracy's sake. He said, I never wrote a picture. I don't draw pictures of women. Again, I am just trying to be accurate here. But this is some cringe shit for real. Oh my God, he's gonna get to that guy.
At Tavern on the Green, it's a great event. And sure enough, publicly you can find several doodles that Donald Trump has done. Most of these are of skylines, architecture. None of these are of women. True. Still, it's strange to say I don't draw pictures when you very clearly draw pictures and they appear to be in thick marker, which is what you were accused of drawing them in. Now, none of that means anything, but it just reminds...
So what I assume when he says he never wrote a picture, he meant like wrote a letter in a picture, and he never drew pictures of women. That's my interpretation. Again, I'm really coming here trying to be as objective as I can. Not only did that letter not sound like Trump at all, and denied by Trump, and Trump is taking them to court over it, it's really weird that they're both willing to go into a lawsuit when one of them knows they're lying. Unless there's a fucking deeper layer to this, which is what it has to be.
Reminds me a little bit of the Prince Andrew denial.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very different case. I'm really glad he brought this up because this is easily one of my favorite things of all time. When Prince Andrew denied it, that was amazing.
I don't know if you guys remember the sweat denial. A big part of the interview with Prince Andrew was the denial that he couldn't have done anything bad because he couldn't sweat. So this
I love this clip.
Supposedly falsified.
Does he actually show the clip? It's my favorite clip of all time. I have to show it to you. I have to show you this clip. I don't know if he actually shows it. I have to show it to you. Prince Andrew doesn't sweat. I have to show you this clip because this is the greatest clip of all time. There's never been a clip better than this one.
July of this year, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and abusing dozens of underage girls. One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against you. She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was yes. I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at.
Right, he was shot at, and then he never sweat ever again, and he knows this is correct because every time he sleeps with a 13-year-old child, he knows for a fact that they have never seen him sweat.
And it was almost impossible for me to sweat on that particular day.
Yeah, so that was his defense. It was one of the greatest defenses of all time. And then after that, his argument is he got new sweat ducts installed, so now he started sweating again. But for a couple of years there was zero sweating that happened because he was shot at during a war. This everyone knows that this is the greatest excuse ever told.
Virginia Giuffre's whole story.
I love this clip. I can watch it a million times.
Peculiar medical condition, which is...
I have a medical condition. It's called cocaine and pedophilia. Oopsie poopsie.
That I don't sweat. Or I didn't sweat at the time.
So yeah, that was kind of this claim, like, hey, this couldn't be true because I don't do X, but actually we see that Prince...
And then I remember when this happened, it was the funniest thing in the world. He goes to this show and he's like, listen, it couldn't have been me because I don't sweat. And then everyone on the internet came together to shit on this man, all right? And they all posted pictures of him sweating. There was just an endless amount of pictures of this man sweating everywhere.
Andrew actually does sweat. Yes. And in the same way, it's not perfect proof, but you really shouldn't say you don't draw pictures.
Again, he says, I never wrote a picture, and he doesn't draw women. I'm trying to make this as, trying to be accurate, journalistic integrity.
When being accused of drawing thick black marker pictures, when you definitely draw pictures sometimes. I mean, it's just, and it's public.
He definitely worded that badly, Trump. He definitely worded that badly. I wouldn't say it's as bad as I don't sweat, because that's fucking insane. But yeah, all right.
That's just kind of just an obvious, devastating hole in your whole argument. Now, again...
Yeah, again, he didn't draw women. That's what he said. He said he didn't draw women.
I've got to say, this is just the basics. We do not have the letter, okay? I'm relying on the...
That's what we need. Absolutely.
Wall Street Journal's reporting on this.
This feels like a fucking Game of Thrones, you know? Like, this literally feels like Game of Thrones. In the latest Game of Thrones book that was written, there was this pink letter that no one knows who wrote this letter, all right? And that's literally the cliffhanger at the end of the last book of Game of Thrones. And then the motherfucker decided to become the fattest man of all time and never release another book, and then we're left on hold for eternity. This literally feels like the same thing. We don't know where the letter is. We don't know who wrote it. We don't know if it's real, and we're never going to get another book because nothing's ever going to happen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nothing Ever Happened. Subscribe. Let's up those numbers.
And we're corroborating with different pieces of public evidence. Ultimately, we need to see if this was actually in the Epstein files. But there are some other stuff, too, that we can look to corroborate this story. So we can look at the bookbinder. So In the Wall Street Journal report, we see a very specific and interesting corroboration. It says the book was put together by the New York City bookbinder Herbert Weitz, according to people involved with the process. Weitz listed Epstein as a client on his website in 2003. So here we have a chance to corroborate externally. Of course, it's not a full corroboration, but we have a chance to look to see, was it actually on his website?
I am inclined to believe that they do have a bookbinder. They do have a book. They do have a lot of letters from his 50th birthday. They do have this letter. And my guess is the tie between this letter and Trump is flimsy. And that's why they didn't want to release the actual letter. And again, I don't know if it's real or if it isn't, but it's fucking suspicious as shit.
Right? So if we go to the archive, we see in 2003 at weitzcoleman.com, we see a client list, and we see Jeffrey Epstein is...
Bro! That's not how you spell his name. He spells it with a J. Wait a second. I don't know, man. I feel like that's a different guy.
Listed on it with a different spelling.
Yeah, good to note. Yeah.
Of Jeffrey, I should know. And this says people for whom we have bound up books and albums. Weird. This is another piece of circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, you're right. It's super circumstantial. I don't know. Is that a different guy? I don't know.
Evidence that makes it hard to believe it's just fully made up. Now, you can believe something in the middle. You can believe that the letter exists and the Wall Street Journal saw it and somebody invented it, right? Like, there are a lot of options here.
There are so many layers here, man. So many layers.
But the idea that, okay, the Wall Street Journal is just fully inventing this story. They're releasing something with literally no evidence. They're just fabricating it all.
Yeah, which is super unlikely, right? Because they know they're getting sued.
But citing all these different people, citing third-party stuff that you can fact-check publicly, that's a piece of evidence to think about. Now, we're going to talk about the public reactions to this. We have Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, saying the Wall Street...
Obviously, she's going to be pro-Trump. We'll see.
Journal published a hatchet job with a fake birthday letter that's supposedly from 2003. This is like the Steele dossier that kickstarted the Russia hoax.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, Lord. Oh, I hate this argument so much, man. This thing is like that thing, which was fake, even though they are not even remotely related.
All over again, the Wall Street Journal refused to show us the letter and conceded they don't even have it in their possession when we asked them to verify the alleged document.
The birthday letter didn't kill itself, okay? The birthday letter did not kill itself. There is no birthday letter, actually. I've seen the birthday letter. We will release it. We will release the birthday letter, which killed itself. It's gone. There is no letter. But if there was a letter, the letter was written by the Democrats. I've seen it. In 2003, Obama wrote the letter.
Document they're basing their entire fake story on.
All right.
Then you have Dan Walken saying the amount of people who think public...
No idea who that is.
The scope of the Wall Street Journal just put explosive stuff out about a public figure without well-established authentication procedures and running it through a team of lawyers know literally nothing about journalism.
I am inclined to agree that there's no way the Wall Street Journal would not authenticate before publishing. But if they would, then why didn't they actually release the letter? And second, why would Trump deny it if it's so, and everyone deny it if there's so much evidence that it exists? See, I agree with you, but do you really think that there would be a $100 billion lawsuit levied against the Wall Street Journal where the president of the United States is calling it slander when it's just completely true and they have proof of it? See, that's the craziest part. The craziest thing is, in my opinion, $10 billion letter. In my opinion, my humble perspective is there has to be some layer of truth to this and some layer of lies. There is no way the Wall Street Journal would just say this knowing they'd get sued, and there's no way Trump would deny it and sue them if there was just proof that it existed.
Authentication procedures and running it through a team of lawyers know literally nothing about.
Although we literally just saw the Russia hoax was proven a hoax and Obama knew about it, right? This was literally just proven on the other side. God damn.
About journalism. Charlie Kirk says, this is not how Trump talks at all. I don't believe it.
All right, again, this was 23 years ago, so who knows? Referring
to the actual letters.
But again, I agree with him. It doesn't sound like Trump at all. It sounds like fucking bullshit.
Contents. Specifically, people picked up on the idea that Trump says enigma in the...
Trump would say enigma. I don't think it's not the word enigma that's weird, all right? What's weird is the whole, I have a secret to tell you. Very well. No. Very well to you too, Donald. Like, it's written like fucking retard shit.
The writing of it? In fact, Trump writing at all.
I don't think it's enigma.
Some people find that hard to believe.
I think that's also retarded. I think Trump very likely would write. That's stupid.
J.D. Vance says, forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bull. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed of publishing it. Where's the letter? Would you be shocked to learn they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Donald Trump? Of course, then you have a response to that where somebody says, Carson's an enigma to me. This is clearly debunking the idea that the word enigma is not in Trump's vocabulary.
Yeah, again, I think this is bullshit on another level because I don't think that the argument is that Trump wouldn't say enigma. I really don't think enigma has anything to do with it.
Now, Carson's an enigma to me.
So that clearly debunks the idea.
So, well, it turns out Trump would say that word. Again, I don't think that that's evidence of anything.
Idea that he couldn't have written this because enigma was.
Oh my God, does Trump drink water? Well, so did Hitler. Yeah, it's like, come on, dude.
In his vocabulary, it actually is. So from where I'm sitting, the letter is odd.
Yep.
But it also is in line with some of these other letters from people like Lex.
That is
it's
true.
also in line with some of the doodles that Trump has publicly made.
I'm inclined to think that the doodles have nothing to do with anything, actually, in my opinion. But again, I hear his perspective. I'm glad he brought it up.
And it is also in line with Trump's recent odd behavior with the...
That I completely agree with. That is something I completely agree with, by the way. I think that it is so in line with the fact that Trump had so many weirdisms. Because I'll be real with you, Trump's been lying to us. He's been lying to us for the last fucking couple of weeks. He has been lying, all right? Lying a lot. There is no Epstein file. People are still talking about Epstein. He's so boring. There's nothing there. There are no clients. Epstein did it alone. I've never flown on his jet before. You know, he's been lying about this a lot. And if he was scared of some sort of letter coming out, then maybe that's why he was lying. So maybe that's why he was lying. And it's because of a letter like this. Or not. Well, now that this is out, maybe we'll get some sort of honesty question mark. I doubt it, but who knows?
Epstein files, where he keeps setting up the idea that there's this big hoax coming, that there's phony stuff in there. And that actually is the most persuasive piece of evidence, Trump's own behavior in this weird meltdown, more than anything which has convinced me. Because on the one hand, there are some things which would tilt in the favor of it not being Trump, right? The very fact that it's a letter.
It's weird. It's just so weirdly written.
Prose of the letter is a bit strange. And then you also have the fact that, okay, if the DOJ had this during the Biden years, why didn't it come out, right?
Bro, right? They're doing everything they fucking could to put Trump in prison. For 4 years, they tried to put that man in prison. And they have a letter that he wrote to the world's most famous pedophile saying we have a secret together? Please, dude. This is what I've been saying the entire time. That's why I really think they don't have anything on Trump. Because if they had something on Trump, they'd fucking release that shit immediately. I just think that they have implicated a lot of powerful people, and Trump is covering for them, which is unacceptable. Unacceptable! I think it's unacceptable. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This is weird. This is weird.
So that's all pretty compelling until you once again just look at the way Trump has been behaving. I
don't like that theory because people would demand who else was on the list. I'll tell you why I don't think that makes sense. A, they could destroy evidence, obviously. And B, this letter doesn't implicate anyone else on Epstein's list. It just makes Trump look like a pedophile that sent a fucking letter to the world's most prolific diddler. You know, a birthday letter saying, hey, I'm lame and gay and we have secrets together, Mr. Pedophile. Handshake. You know, like, if they could have just released that letter at any time if they had it, without implicating literally anyone else. They didn't do that. Even though they did everything in their power to destroy Trump, to invent gigantic Russian conspiracies and commit treason to destroy Trump, they still didn't release this letter. I don't know. I really see both sides are suspicious, and it's not adding up. I don't think either side is telling the complete truth. And we'll see.
I think it strongly suggests that Trump saw something in the Epstein files, was debriefed on something that he was worried about. Whether it was this letter or something.
He has to be. He was definitely worried about something, bro. He was definitely worrying about something. You're still talking about that Epstein guy? Last I heard, we killed him. I mean, he killed himself.
Something else, I don't know. But clearly there's something in those files that he was concerned about being involved with. I think we need a full declassification of these files.
Amen, King. I'm with you, brother, all the way.
Except for the CSAM and
obviously
victims. Now, to the declassifying comment, Donald Trump, based on this, has posted, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked AG Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam should end right now. And Pam Bondia said, President Trump, we are ready to move on the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts.
I think that's something.
I think that ultimately it needs to be everything or nothing. You can't give a little bit at this point.
Honestly, I agree, but I will take whatever the fuck I can get. All right, that's my hot take. I don't expect to get everything, but I do expect something. All right, so we start with something, and then we bother them for more. Listen. No one says you have to stop bothering them once they give you something. In my opinion, you take what you can get. You say, thank you very much, Mr. President. Now, where's the rest of it? That's my opinion. And I think that is a much better strategy than just saying, everything or nothing. I say you get some, and then you annoy the shit out of them.
With the level of allegations being leveled against our president, that he would send pretty incriminating letters to the world's most notorious file. Now, again, before he was arrested the first time, right? But given the letter's contents, given that they're doing so much, they're going to be suing the Wall Street Journal over this, to deny it, I think if it turns out to be true, is devastating. I mean, totally devastating and horrific, and no one should defend it if it's true. And that's what we need to find out at this point. So I think the answer is clearly that, yes, I would love the Wall Street Journal to release this photo if they have it in their possession, if they can release it from their source. And I would love for the DOJ to declassify the actual relevant pieces of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because the absolutely central piece of evidence in this whole story are these letters, which are in a leather-bound album and supposedly in the DOJ's possession. That's clearly not going to be a grand jury transcript.
Wait. So it's implied that the Department of Justice actually has the letters, and now they're just arguing if they exist when you could literally just open the fucking book and show it to people? Like, I don't know, man. This is so crazy, man. It's so fucking insane.
That's going to be one of the pieces of evidence they collected from Epstein or Maxwell, and so that is a different category altogether. So I think given that, it's hard to see this as anything other than a distraction from what is actually relevant here, which is, does this album exist? Yes or no? Show us the evidence,
that's
right?
first.
Show us the physical evidence.
Agreed.
Instead, this is just going to get people riled up because it's an Epstein release, but it's guaranteed by definition not to have the evidence one way or another. A transcript is not going to have a piece of physical evidence. And we need to demand answers on that because either it exists or it doesn't. And if it does exist, that's a huge problem. If it doesn't, for the Wall Street Journal, that's a huge problem. And I'm really not sure which we are going to get first. All I know is that if you are looking from the outside, I would highly recommend that you don't just dismiss things based on a quick, hot Twitter take. There's a lot to this story that is corroborating, and also we need more evidence on before we can really make up their mind. I see a lot of people have just already written it off as completely true or completely false. I think they're not thinking through the implications of, if this is true, how really crazy it would be if we live in that world.
Yeah, again, innocent until proven guilty, man. But if this is true, man, if this is a real letter that Trump wrote with a fucking... Listen, we all knew Trump was a playboy, okay? He had his fucking grab her by the pussy comments. We all knew that. It's the fact that it was to Epstein talking about secrets that they shared together. Yeah, that's kind of wild.
And then also the people who are dismissing it as false right away, you're not really thinking through, like, you might be defending, right? That is one of the outcomes that could be true here.
True.
We don't know. And again, even if it is true, we don't know what is meant by things like, may every day be another wonderful secret.
Yeah, that's so fucking cringe, man. It's so cringe. Oh.
When calling Jeffrey Epstein a pal, we wouldn't know what that meant, but... yeah, it's just stunning. So this report, you absolutely have to watch it. We're going to have a lot more in the coming days to try to validate it or falsify it, and we'll see which one happens first. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm prepared to say at this moment.
Damn, he fucking cooked, bro. Yeah, he's right. And Trump actually this just happened like an hour ago while I was recording this very video. Trump was in the White House distracting about Epstein again, which is not playing right now, of course. Obviously, why would it do that? Why would it play? Why would it play the first time? That's the question we all ask. Bruh! All right, hold up. Editor will cut this part out.
Some lunatic around the desk had a policy. Whoever operated the auto pen had a policy, which is, by the way, I think the biggest scandal. That's the scandal they should be talking about, not Jeffrey Epstein. The scandal you should be talking about is the auto pen, because I think it's the biggest scandal, one of them in American history.
Hey, Trump, what do you think about Jeffrey Epstein? I think we should look at the auto pen. Now, I'll be real. In my opinion, I think that the auto pen is the most fucking insane scandal in American history. We don't know who the fucking president was for the last 4 years. But, Mr. President, the Epstein thing is a very legitimate thing. We're allowed to think about two things at the same time, all right? I could chew bubblegum and tie my shoelaces simultaneously, all right? Listen, stop distracting, brother. These are multiple things, all right? I do think that the auto pen thing was a abominable piece of shit situation. I also think that the Obama running the fucking Russia hoax might be one of the craziest developments in modern political history. And I think the fact that the fucking government of the United States is currently defending pedophiles is fucking abominable and insane. So, hey, I could worry about both things. I could realize that the entire government is cooked. So shout out to the government. Hell yeah, dude. It's everyone that pays their taxes to pedophiles. We are in this boat together. Subscribe for future content. It'll never end. Again, the Trump polls are up. I do think his policies are good. I do think he's a powerful leader in some ways, and I think that this situation was handled by complete retards. Maybe the auto pen wrote the letter. Maybe the auto pen and the Jeffrey Epstein files were the friends we made along the way. Everything's cooked. Nothing ever happens. Subscribe. One day we will rise up against the pedophile overlords and create a beautiful society that will also be controlled by the Jews. See you in the next one. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.